Okay, getting the YouTube set up. For you YouTubers, for you just who are just joining Instagram Live, we're going to use a wall today, so make sure your short side of your mat is set up against the wall. 2 blankets, 2 blocks, or 2 pillows for your practice today. We're doing hips, shoulders, all the good stuff, spine, of course. So I'm just going to get started, and you can meet me on the mat. So we're going to get started here. Child's pose. If child's pose is not comfortable for you, allow yourself to take whatever pose is best. Knees out wide, toes to touch. And bring your arms forward. Allow your forehead to rest onto the mat. So if this is uncomfortable for you, you can either bring a blanket or pillow under your forehead so there's less space for you to get into here. Maybe you need that blanket or pillow underneath, in between your thighs and your calf muscles. You'll start to let yourself settle into this pose or into whatever pose is most comfortable for you. And start to give yourself the gift of awareness. Starting to notice where you are right now. Notice the parts of your body that are resting onto the mats. Notice the texture of your mats, the temperature, maybe the temperature of the air surrounding you now. Notice how your body settles. Notice any space that feels particularly good for you, whether it be emotionally, physically. Give yourself the moment to feel good in that space. Allow your arms to be relaxed, fingers relaxed on the ground. And allow your hips to let go just a little bit. Release some space in between your back molars. Start to open and close your mouth wide. Maybe you wiggle your jaw from side to side. Allow your eyes to relax. And start to bring attention to your breath. Maybe it's as little as noticing the breath going in and out of your nose. Or maybe you can go a little deeper, noticing the breath going into your body, into your belly, filling Feeling expansion in your rib cage, in your back, in your belly. And exhaling, letting it all go. We're going to bring our attention to our breath for about 15 breaths here. If at all you get uncomfortable in this pose, allow yourself to move. There's no one keeping you where you are. You can find comfort. You can allow yourself to discover what feels good to you. Continuing on that breath. For your next 5 breaths, allow yourself to gather as much air into your body as you can on your inhales. And let that air go as slowly, slowly, slowly as you can. Imagining you're emptying every single ounce of air. Take your time. And on your next inhale, inhale as deeply as you can. Fill into the lungs, fill into the belly. And open mouth side out. 2 more like this. Inhale, fill the lungs, fill the belly. Open mouth side out, as audible as you need to. Inhale, fill. Lungs expand, belly expands. Exhale. And start to tent your fingertips up. And if you need to, maybe you remove any props that you were using before. Let's start to lift the chest slightly. We're going to bring our left arm and thread it through under the right armpit. Finding a little twist here. So you should be looking towards your right side, under your right armpit here. Allow your hips to sink back and away. Find length in the spine. Allow your head to be heavy if it can, giving some relief into the shoulder here. One more breath. Put weight into the right hand. Start to lift the chest up. And start to lift your left hand high towards the ceiling. And slowly, slowly reach it forward towards the front of your mat, down towards the ground. Find that little stretch there. Find that halfway lift again in the chest. Right arm reaches through, thread through under the left armpit. Gaze towards your left side. Finding a gentle twist here. If you can, allow your chest to be heavy, allow your head to be heavy, giving relief, giving a little stretch into the shoulder. Feeling your shoulder blade open up here. One more breath. And gently press into the left hand. Start to lift that right arm high towards the ceiling. Slowly, slowly reach it towards the front of the room. Feel that stretch in the armpit here. Press your hands into the ground. Start to press your mid-spine towards the ceiling as if you're doing a cat motion, and bring yourself up to wide-kneed tabletop here. Maybe you lean forward a little bit, getting a little stretch into the wrists. Start to round yourself, press towards the left side of your mat, and sit it back down to your child's pose. Start to round that back up, press your spine towards the ceiling. Press your fingertips into the ground, round forward. And press yourself over to the right-hand side, feeling that side stretch, reaching back to child's pose. Again, press your spine up towards the ceiling, round that back, and maybe you reach a little bit forward here. Press out to the left and round back to your seats. Last round, spine reaching up towards the ceiling, rounding that back, gaze towards your navel. Maybe you reach those shoulders a little past those wrists and round over to the right-hand side. Stretch into that body. Inhale, round yourself up and bring yourself into tabletop pose. Shoulders stacked over wrists, hips stacked over knees. Find a neutral position here first. Find a slight tuck in the tailbone so that your lower core is engaged. Inhale, drop belly, rise chest. Maybe your chin lifts here. Maybe you gaze behind you. Exhale, round the back, gaze towards your navel. This time, still pressing your chest up towards the ceiling, getting an extra stretch into the shoulders, into the back. Inhale, cow pose, tilting your belly towards the ground. Chest rises. Maybe your chest pulls through your arms. Chin lifts, gaze behind. Exhale, round back. Press your chest towards the ceiling. Gaze towards your navel. We'll go through 3 more rounds here on your own time. Maybe you find movement that feels good to you. Maybe you need to get into your side body, more into your hips. Allow yourself to explore here, or just do whatever the cows that we were doing before. It does feel really good. When you're ready, bring yourself back to that neutral pose. Drop that belly once again. Draw your chin upwards. We're going to start to draw your chin towards the right and draw your hips towards the right. Getting a little bit side stretch into the top of our shoulders here. And we're going to wag over to the left side, drawing that chin over to the left corner of your mat, hips over towards left back corner of the mat. Let's do that one more time. Over to the right and over to the left. Bring yourself to center. Press away from the ground. Find that rounded back. And this is a little bit more challenging, but we're going to do the same thing. Drawing the crown of the head towards the right front corner, hips towards the right back corner. Finding kind of a banana pose. And slowly shift over to the other side. Head towards left front corner, hips towards left back corner. Back over to the right. And back over to the left. Bring yourself back to center. We'll just do a little quickie wrist stretch here. Fingertips flip towards the body. Just gently rock front to back. If this is too intense for you, you can step your knees in. Find a little bit of relief there, but make sure to try to keep your shoulders stacked over the wrists. And if it feels good to you, find little circles. And reverse those circles. Bring yourself back to center. Walk those knees back if you need to. Bring fingertips forward. Tuck the toes. Make your way to downward dog. First, keeping your legs super bent here. Find the length in your spine first. Drawing the crown of head towards your hands. And maybe your belly is reaching towards your thigh bones, reaching towards the ceiling. Take an inhale. Exhale, straighten both legs. Reach those heels down. Sit bones up. Inhale, bend deeply. Exhale, straighten both legs. Inhale, bend deeply. Exhale, straighten both legs. Take a moment to walk your dog out, alternating straightening and bending legs. Or maybe you find stillness here. Shoulders have slight engagement here. Sit bones rise. Find length in that back body. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees. Walk forward to the front of your mat so that your feet are outside of your hands. Find your Malasana squat. So toes out, heels in. And we're not going to stay here for very long. If this is hard for you, all we care about is finding that long spine, sit bones reaching down, crown of head long. And maybe we will just windshield wiper our feet, find some movement, find some openness in our hips here. Allow yourself to enjoy this movement. And slowly bring yourself back to center. Find that length. Find your hands to heart center. Allow your sit bones to sink down. Maybe your heart grows tall. Maybe your collarbones grow wide. Start to bring your hands down to the ground and find your forward fold. Toes and feet are parallel to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll up as slowly as you need to. Arms reach up high. Exhale, cactus arms. Draw your elbows down. Bring your forearms forward together, round the spine. Inhale, find those cactus arms first. Elbows are drawing back. Draw your shoulder blades towards each other. Lift your chest up high. Exhale, round down. Press your chest away from you. Forearms together. Inhale, elbows back. Chest rise. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Exhale, round down. Press your chest away. Forearms together. One more time. Elbows back. Squeeze shoulder blades. Chest lift. Exhale, round down. Chest lifts the other way through the spine. Bring yourself back to neutral. Palms face up. And we're going to bring our palms as if we're going to pat ourselves on the shoulders. But wait, no, we're bringing those palms back, around, and up. So we're going to just windshield wiper our arms back and forth for 3, 2, 1. Bring the hands out. Draw the arms up. And find your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant hands, step back to plank. Knees down, lower down to the ground. Hands outside the mat. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, right shoulder down. Inhale, up. Exhale, left shoulder. Inhale, up to center. Exhale, roll down to the ground. Hands outside the chest. Tuck your toes. Make your way to downward dog. We'll be here for 2 breaths. Find what you need, either stillness or movement. It doesn't matter. It's your practice. Draw your left knee to chest. Step it outside of left hands. Start to find some wiggles front to back. Drop right knee, rise chest, cow lunge. Exhale, straighten both legs around the back, cat lunge. 2 more times. Inhale, cow lunge. Exhale, cat lunge. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Press into that front leg. Bend into it. We're going to open up to warrior 2. Find your pose here. You might be a little wonky. That's okay. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale, warrior 2. Start to shift back to that back knee. Maybe you use your hands to find balance on your back leg. Or maybe you find the ground. Finding Skadasana here. Maybe you sit back. Find that weight distribution. You should be feeling a stretch into the groin. And slowly find yourself lifting up. And we're going to pivot towards the wall. Yay! Okay, step that back leg in slightly. And step your front leg in slightly. I guess back and front are different now. We're going to find pyramid pose. So start to square your hips towards the wall. Find a halfway lift. Find your wall. Hopefully you can reach it. And start to forward fold here. You're going to be feeling a stretch into the chest here as you stretch into the right hamstring. So shifting that right hip back slightly, left hip forward. 2 more breaths. And slowly start to find a halfway lift. You're going to wrap your right hand over your right shoulder. left hand under, and start to grab your shoulders. Find a forward fold, rounding the back, allowing your shoulders to let go, allow your head to let go. Still pulling that right hip bone back, squaring those hips towards the front of the mat. You should be feeling a nice lengthy stretch in the right leg here. Allow yourself to relax that upper body. Sit bones are still lifting high here. Rooting down in your feet, finding grounding. And start to release your hands down to the ground. Inhale, half lift. Step your right foot back slightly. Step your left foot forward slightly. Allow them to meet. And start to crawl your hands up the wall. We're going to find a downward dog, supported downward dog. So starting to find that forward fold once again. Maybe you have a slight bend in the legs so you can find more length into the back here. And what we're going to do is going to find some cat-cow. So starting to press the spine up towards the ceiling. Slowly undulating here, starting to press the spine up to the ceiling. And rounding that belly down towards the floor is what it's called, chest towards the wall. One more time, find that cat pose. Find that cow pose. And start to find that neutral spine. Slowly walk your hands down to forward fold. Bring your right foot in front of left. This might be cool. Start to twist yourself to the front of your mat. Step back to plank, knees down, lower down to the ground. Hands outside of the mat. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, right shoulder down. Inhale, up. Exhale, left shoulder. Inhale, up to center. Exhale, roll yourself down to the ground. Tuck toes. Make your way to downward dog. 2 breaths here. Find your reset. Find the length in that back body. Draw your right knee to chest. Step outside of right hand. Rock yourself front to back slightly here. Set that back knee down, open up, cow lunge. Exhale, straighten both legs, cat lunge. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, bend into that front leg, open up, warrior 2. Find that openness in your hips, allowing them to be open to the left side of the mat, arms stretched out, reaching. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, back to warrior 2. Exhale, shift the bend into the back leg and find your Skandasana pose. Maybe it's supported here by supporting yourself on your back leg, or maybe you're finding the ground, finding that deep stretch. One more breath. Start to press into that back leg. Shift yourself to the wall. Left foot is in front, right foot steps forward slightly here. Start to shift those hips so that they're squared to the wall, finding your pyramid pose. Here's the wall. Arms, hands placed on the wall, and start to fold down. Finding length in the spine still, starting to still shift that left hip back, right hip forward, finding that stretch into the back of your left leg. And you might be feeling that stretch into your pectoral muscles, muscles in your chest, through your arms here. One more breath. Find a half lift. Wrap your left arm over right shoulder, right arm under left, and forward fold round the back. Let your chest be heavy. Maybe you're pulling your shoulder blades apart. Can you release your head? Can you make sure that your legs, your hips are square to the front of the mat? What else can you let go? And start to release your hands. Bring them down to the mat. Inhale, half lift, step your right leg forward slightly, left leg back. And we're gonna find our wall downward dog. So hopefully you have enough space here. I find myself having to step back slightly. So find length in your back here. And we're gonna go for those cat-cows. Press that spine up towards the ceiling. And then belly towards the ground, chest forward. Find that cat pose. Find your cow pose. One more time, cat and cow. Bring yourself to neutral spine. Draw your left foot in front of right. And we're gonna wishy-wash over to the front of the mat, hands down. Step back to your plank, knees down, lower down to the ground. Hands outside of the mat. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, right shoulder down. Inhale, up. Exhale, left shoulder. Inhale, up. Exhale, roll yourself down to the ground. Hands outside, chest, tuck toes. Make your way to downward dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees. Walk to the middle of your mat. And roll yourself up to stand very, very slowly. We're gonna do some wall play now. So first off, focusing on the upper body. We're gonna go for the melting heart. If this is too intense for you, you can go back to that supported down dog, which is this L-shaped pose. Otherwise, we're gonna step a little bit closer, maybe a foot and a half away or 2 feet, depending on your flexibility. Hands are gonna reach up tall, and you're gonna start to bring your chest towards the wall. If you have more space here, you can play with drawing yourself back a little bit more. Allow yourself to give time to explore here, see what kind of space you have. Your goal is that your chest is on the wall. If that feels super uncomfortable for you, because finding that openness is hard, you're gonna find your forehead to the wall. And maybe you could find your chin to the wall, though I find that to be harder than the chest. Starting with slower exhales down here. Breathing into the belly. We've got 2 more breaths here. Start to press yourself away from that wall here. Maybe you do a little slumpy stance just to undo all that opening you just did. This is how we can cast ourselves in some kind of zombie movie. Okay, bring yourself up to stand. And we're gonna bring ourselves perpendicular to the wall. Right arm is at cactus arm. Palm is caressing the wall. And we're gonna just start to find a stretch here. So you can maybe start to find your chest turning slightly. Your elbow and shoulder should be at the same height. And you should be feeling a stretch into your pectoral muscle. So depending on how tight you are, it could go pretty far in. We'll stay here for about 3 more breaths. For any of you who have not taken my class before, we want to draw our exhales out because it starts to engage our parasympathetic nervous system, telling our bodies that we are safe. You can even, since we have a free hand, you can even take your pulse here and notice that your heart rate slows down when you exhale. And slowly start to release that right arm. We're going to find 2 big circles because we can. And we're going to find 2 big circles the other way. And go on to the left side, finding yourself facing the wall. Left hand is at cactus, elbow in the same height as your shoulder, and start to open your body away from the wall. Here you might notice the difference in openness between one side and the other. It might speak to your dominant side, or how you tend to work or live, or how you hold your stress. Something to just think about and consider. Just be mindful of what's going on in your body. Slowing the breath. 2 more breaths here. And slowly start to bring yourself to face that wall and find 2 big circles with your left arm. And reverse that direction. And before we get into ultra chill mode, we're gonna feel maybe not so chill with this awesome stretch. Okay, so to show you, we're gonna find our right knee down on the ground. And you're gonna bring your foot, the top of your right foot onto the wall. And maybe this is where you stay. Maybe you're like, wow, this is stretching my quad. Or your hip flexor might be really tight. If you need to, bring your pillow or blanket underneath that knee. You might stay here. Try to keep that spine still long. If you have more here, you can start to find yourself upright. And if you're super flexible in this mode, you can imagine you're doing a back bend. So you might reach your shoulders towards the wall. This is my tight side. So you can bring your shoulders to the wall, maybe your head to the wall, and be pressing your hips still away, feeling that stretch in the quadricep in the front side of your right leg. Can you relax your face? Can you relax anything that's not involved in this stretch? Maybe your arms are heavy. One more breath here. Allow yourself to slowly ease out of this stretch. Find yourself hinging forward. Maybe you find the mat here with your hands. And we're just gonna twist slightly over to the right so that you can ease that right leg down off of the wall. And we're gonna go back on the other side. So bring that left knee down. Start to press that top of the foot of left foot into the wall. Maybe your hands are on the top of your right thigh and you're finding length in your spine, and that's where you stay. If you have more movements, you can start to bring yourself more upright, still finding length, still feeling long here. And if you have even more movement, you can start to bring your head towards the wall and bring your shoulders to the wall if you have that kind of space. Still finding your hips reaching forward, feeling that stretch. Find some calmness in your breath. Allow yourself to feel rooted into the ground. Shoulders are weighted down. A couple more breaths here. Gently start to lean forward. Maybe you find your thigh, maybe you find the floor. Start to shift yourself towards the left, letting that left foot down. Entering into uber relaxed mode. Make sure that your props are near you, so 2 pillows, 2 blankets, or 2 blocks. First off, we're going to go for a figure 4 stretch. Bringing right foot into the wall and hooking your left foot over your right. So allow yourself to adjust your tolerance to the stretch by either scooching closer to the wall or farther away from the wall. If you have more space or want to feel the difference in the stretch, when you can try pressing your left thigh away from you by just resting your left elbow into the ground and propping your left hand against your left thigh. A few more breaths here. Maybe this is where your gaze starts to rest. You can close your eyes. Let your sit bones be heavy here. And start to release that left leg and switch legs, left foot against the wall, right hooks over left. Use your right hand, if it feels good to you, to anchor that elbow on the ground. Right hand gently presses your right thigh away. Keeping that foot flexed here. Allowing your body to be heavy. Imagine it being held by this earth. You don't need to use any extra effort in this pose. Two more breaths here. And slowly release that right leg. And we're going to find supported frog pose. So you want your knees to be at the same stack, I guess, as your hips. And if it feels good to you, you might want to use your blankets to prop or pillows to prop just outside of your hips because we'll be here for longer than usual. But allow your thighs to open up here. And for just an extra chest opening, we're gonna keep our arms cactused here, palms open towards the ceiling. And maybe just give your hands a little wiggle waggle here. Allow your hands to be loose and imagine your fingers falling open naturally. Like a blooming flower, 'tis spring. Keep that breath settled. Keep your eyes settled here. Space in between the molars. Tongue is heavy. Imagine your brow melting. Maybe your glutes. Take a break. Arms are relaxed. You are being gently supported by the wall, by the ground. And allow your body to give its trust into these strong structures. Few more breaths. And start to wake the arms up. Bring them outside of your thighs and gently close your legs like a book. We're going to scooch ourselves right next to the wall. So your hips are going to be hugging the wall, and we're going to do legs at the wall pose for our final Savasana. Bringing your legs up tall. Variations for your arms, you can keep them as cactus arms. You can bring them beside you, palms up, or you can bring one hand to the chest, one to the belly. If you want to keep cactus pose and need a little bit of reprieve from your hands, you can also take your pillows or blankets or blocks and lay them gently on top of your hands, just to give a little bit of gentle weight to your fingers, giving them a gentle stretch open. You start to let your breath go here. Imagine it to be as natural as it can be. Bringing yourself back to just the awareness of where you are. Noticing the gentle support that you have, that you can allow your body to relax fully. And just be here. We'll close in this pose and final Savasana. Allow yourself to stay here as long as you need to. I bring my hands to heart center in gratitude for sharing this practice with you today. Thank you and namaste.